Hello, salutations. What it do? Sadot the Gamer, all fire, Durag Nation, the vibes like subscribe. Let's get it. And good morning, Durag Nation. It is very, very early for me. 7:47 in the morning, but this is what we do when it is a big deal, and it is a big deal. Today is the world premiere of the highly anticipated James Gunn Superman 2025 trailer. Few things I would get up this early for. This is certainly one of them. Appreciate everyone in Durag Nation for staying up. We are live on YouTube and Twitch. What's up? What's up, Woof? On the Twitch side, what's up, Lucky Ray? Gabe Capte, Last of Understanding. What's up, Rekka? Good evening to you. Yeah, it's evening for some people. What's up, D-Lo? At work? Yes, sir. A lot of people at work. Evening for you, morning for me. Others are at work, others just waking up. But it is the thing that binds us. We are nerds at heart. We will get up for the things we care about. Finally made Golden Rivals. Congratulations. Yeah, I'm gold. I'm about to try to make a grind to platinum. Excited for it. Early afternoon in the UK. Shout out to the UK early afternoon. Must be nice. I would not want to live there, but I knew it. I was like, all right, I'm gonna set my alarm for 7, and I immediately was like, I'm gonna set my alarm for 7:25. It still was not sufficient. I took a bunch of gummies, so I should be fine. Shout out to Northern Ireland. 648 for you. Oh. 2 minutes, yeah. Good morning. Feel like a zombie. Same. Which is partially my fault, to be fair. I set the stream up last night because I knew this would be an issue. I was like, all right, I'm gonna be prepared. We know the time. We know the trailer starts 6 a.m. PT. According to the official page, they're basically going to put it live at 8:53. So I was like, okay, I know what time I have to be up. I know what time it starts. So I'm going to get to bed at a nice, reasonable hour, set my alarm just in case. I set my alarm for 7:25. I didn't go to sleep until 2 a.m. Your dog woke you up? I wish my dog woke me up. It was just an alarm. No dog to wake me. Shout out to Australia. Took your morning dump. Good. Thank you for the information. So Lorenzo. So before we watch the trailer, we do actually have the trailer. Well, part of the trailer. This came out last night, courtesy of Mr. James Gunn. So I figure while we wait, I can react to this one. For those who weren't aware of its existence. It is technically our first look at Superman. Like it's the actual trailer. Just a small part of it released by James Gunn to tease us for today. I shared it on Twitter, but Twitter is not real, so got to do YouTube as well. this right where I want it. All right, let's see. Let's see if we like this. Chills when I first saw this. Chills. Absolute chills. So the trailer is going to be live at like 8:53, according to this premiere page. Let me run that back. Already, I'm so I was already determined to watch this in theaters because I like James Gunn's, and I need a good Superman movie. I love the casting. But from what I'm looking at, they nailed it. This is the vibe. This is the look. They said they were inspired by Top Gun Maverick when it came to the flying and how they're going to portray it, which is absolutely perfect. If you haven't seen Top Gun Maverick, highly recommend you do so. But the flying scenes in that movie were incredible. I liked the original Top Gun a little bit. It was all right. It was all right. It's a really fun, really fun movie for the time. But Top Gun Maverick was cinema. Direct to the theme Benjamin Squire made for the movie. It was fan made, but it could be the trailer. He made the trailer theme from fan. I saw a couple fan trailers. Oh, matter of fact, I forgot to put the countdown up. There we go. Looks cheap. That's definitely cap. Yeah, so I'm expecting a lot of Zack Snyder cultists to be weighing in, of course. Without seeing the trailer, they obviously already know that it's the worst movie ever and that James Gunn has failed and blah blah blah. Zack Snyder's king. They want to worship his feet, whatever. But for the rest of us, I think the consensus is going to be that it's a really strong trailer, and people are looking forward to us seeing the movie, and hopefully this is the Superman movie that breaks through and is a big success. Am I interested in Crimson Desert? Yes, I've been talking about Crimson Desert pretty much nonstop. Every time we have a stream, especially for like a Game Awards or anything like that, I'm always talking about Crimson Desert. I think I actually yelled during the Game Awards stream the other week, last week, when they showed the Crimson Desert trailer, which was on my list during the preview. The costumes and the set of the Daily Planet look great. Yeah, it's very, and that's what, that's what James Gunn, they say a lot of times, they say all the right things, but after actually, seeing the casting and like actually getting to look at the trailer, seeing some of the stuff in live action, 100%. Like James Gunn 100% was looking to the comics. He was trying to get that vibe, and he's definitely got it. Like this looks like a Superman movie already. I don't care about Exodus, but I'm looking forward to Crimson Desert for sure. You know what the concept is of the new Arkham game? The next art, there's no official confirmation that we're getting another Arkham game. We know that Rocksteady is working on a new single player game. We know WB is trying to put out more Batman games. We heard a rumor that Rocksteady is doing a Batman game next, but we don't know any details about it, and has not been officially confirmed to be Arkham. It looks like a CW show. Look at the freeze frame. It looks like a scene of people inside of a Daily Planet. So I guess I could address. Obviously, you're a Zack Snyder fan, so you're obviously not going to be looking at this, objectively. But when we say something looks like a CW show, or sounds like it, when we say it looks like it, we're generally talking about the visual effects when it comes to like more complex stuff, and like fighting, mainly fight choreography, because the CW doesn't have low production value. The CW has high production value. Like if you actually watch a CW show and aren't just repeating what you heard other people say, the production value isn't the problem. It's usually very high. The sets look nice. All the actors obviously are required by their policy to be attractive. It doesn't look like a bad show. And if you actually watch some of the superhero stuff, you even see they have episodes with really good visual effects that can look movie quality. But if you also watch enough CW, you've seen some really bad CGI and, and some really awkward and cringe fight choreography. But if you look at a freeze frame from a regular office at a CW show and compare it to a high budget movie, they don't look really different. Like that's not how that meme works, buddy. This obviously looks like a very expensive movie. That's not even a debate. And the brief glimpses we get of the flying is really good. Absolutely love the theme that they went with, like remixing the classic. I am definitely ready to look up. They really, this trailer definitely passes the vibe check so far. How much you think it costs? I think the Superman. I think James Gunn spent probably bare minimum 150 million. Looks like a fan made low budget movie. Sure, buddy. Zack Snyder is mid. They said that the trailer. So I'm wondering how different it will end up being, because they had a press event where they showed the trailer, and I've heard it might have been recut since then, but I heard people talk about it who did see it at the press event. They said it's not going to be it. It said it's basically going to be similar. This what you're seeing here. Not a lot of dialogue. Very very heartwarming. Very a lot of positive vibes. You know, kind of leaning into the hope aspect of Superman's character. A couple special appearances here and there. Film reached 1 billion worldwide. 100%. They said the trailer will reveal Superman is actually being played by these stars. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I won't count on that one. The press event happened a couple of days ago. Yeah, it's not an origin story. Yeah, James Gunn also did an interview, and he was, giving some details about the movie. Just a little bit. Give us some proper context. It is not an origin story. Superman is not someone that has to be introduced to the world. It's not going to be like Man of Steel, where you start you start on Krypton, and then you start on the farm. You watch him as a kid grow up, and then he goes to he makes his way to the city and goes to Daily Planet. Everyone has to learn that they already know him. He already knows Lois. So he's not starting from the beginning again. Keep his own to go to sleep. Homelander theme hits. Apparently, I was when I saw who it was first. I was like, yeah, and then I was like, that has to be Cat Grant. Like, if when it comes to like live action Cat Grant, that's what I picture. Yeah, right. Like that has to be Cat Grant. There's no way that's not Cat Grant. You think James Gunn is going for the Kingdom Come? Mate, I think he's definitely borrowing I think he's going to borrow some aspects from it, but I don't. But from what I've heard, he's not directly adapting any one particular storyline from the comics. He's kind of just like looking at different Superman stories as a guide, and using that to kind of do his own thing for his DCU. Yeah, obviously, obviously that's Jimmy. Yeah, we knew from the I know from the casting that was Jimmy. Obviously, Lois is front and center. Shout out to Rachel Brosnahan from Mrs. Maisel. Shout out to Paperboy. He lost a lot of weight. Yeah, you probably don't recognize him here, but that's definitely Paperboy. Want a Superman game so bad? Same. Could you please do a reaction to the Benjamin Squire theme? I'm probably not going to do that. It's like James Gunn saw the comics and was like, "Yep, we need her, her in this movie." Whatever. So, yeah, the casting has been fantastic. Uh, when they nailed the big three, like when they nailed Lex and Lois and Clark, I was like, okay, James Gunn is cooking here. Pretty much every casting choice I've seen for this movie, I'm like, makes sense. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That's good casting. Especially he nailed definitely the most important ones. Like when they cast Jesse Eisenberg as Lex in the Snyderverse, I was like, I don't know about that one, Chief. You don't cast Jesse Eisenberg to play Lex Luthor or anything like that. you cast Jesse Eisenberg to play Jesse Eisenberg. That was a miss. That was a big miss. He is a good actor, but he's the kind of actor where he's playing a type. He's definitely a type actor, and the type that he plays is Jesse Eisenberg. like if you look at his best movies, he's playing some variation of Jesse Eisenberg, and he's great at it. I love a good Jesse Eisenberg movie, but understand he's playing Jesse Eisenberg. Like, there are just various levels to Jesse Eisenberg. Like, the Lex Luthor was basically manic Jesse Eisenberg. You had, and now you see me, you have like kind of the smoother, less awkward Jesse Eisenberg. And Zombieland, you had the standard Jesse Eisenberg, fast talking, anxious, in that movie where he goes to where he learns karate, you had serious Jesse Eisenberg. It's all Jesse Eisenberg. Like, let's not get it twisted. You ready to look up? Same. It's feeling so much promise. Agreed. Yeah, that was not good. Like, Ben Affleck, I was willing to give the benefit of the doubt because, like, it doesn't really matter who's Bruce Wayne. It just matters how you portray the Batman. And people are usually wrong when it comes to judging how actor is going to perform as Batman, like, completely. I think the only thing people were right about was Clooney being a bad Batman. And Clooney wasn't, and it wasn't even that Clooney was bad. Like, he's Clooney, but he was a good Bruce Wayne. Like, because he's George Clooney. That's basically Bruce Wayne. but his Batman portrayal was bad, but mainly because of the writing. Like, they just didn't take it seriously. Like, if you actually look back on those old Schumacher Batman movies, they actually have better Batman fight choreography and action scenes than the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. It's just the tone is just really cringe, and the writing is obviously horrible. They got that size pause. No Diddy. Going back to a non-gritty positive vibe, Superman. Yeah, that's what I like. Yeah, when the Snyder verse came out, the vibe was, all right, we just got the Dark Knight. That's like the biggest comic book movie. So everything has to be grounded and gritty and postmodern, deconstructionist. You can't have you can't have too much saturation. All the other colors have to be muted. It has to be set, like, and that's not a Superman movie. Like, I'm sorry, that's not what I want to see, especially like a debut Superman movie. Like, there has to be a clear contrast between Superman and Batman, and I feel like that's one of the things they really struggled with and didn't get right in the Snyderverse. Yeah, Ben Affleck was great as everything. I thought Ben Affleck was one of the better Batman overall. Like, he was a great Bruce Wayne, and he's a really good Batman. Superman with muted colors is called. No, it's not even muted colors. That's just Man of Steel. The colors of Injustice are bright. It's just bright. It's just bright with blood from from all the gore, from all the blood he's spilling. What is Snyder's complete vision? The only thing I saw was for Snyder was the different director's cuts, all 10 hours of them. I saw the teases he dropped to set up the future projects like Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and everything like that. I think Snyder. I think obviously probably the biggest mistake was WB trying to copy off of the MCU, but not having the patience that the MCU had. Like trying to rush a Justice League team up after a few movies, obviously colossal mistake conceptually. Also thought Snyder was just the wrong person for a Superman movie. I thought Snyder. Now, if he just wanted to tell Dark Knight Returns like a Batman movie, I thought Snyder would have been perfect for that. Like parts of that movie, Batman v Superman. I feel like if it just was a more of a focused Batman movie, just make Dark Knight Returns. I thought that would have been really good. I think Snyder's a great fit for a Batman movie. I don't think he was a great fit for a Superman movie. I think somebody else should have made the Superman movie and just kind of bridged everything together. I don't think the vibe was raw. What's up, Nava? And I think that's why the movie didn't resonate into box office success, because it just wasn't Superman. It visually looked great. That's what Snyder is very talented at. He has, except for some of the stuff in Rebel Moon, that went horribly wrong. But in general, he has a great eye for visuals. He can cut together a great trailer. The effects are usually really good. He has an eye for visual flair. So the combat, all that stuff, all holds up in Man of Steel. The rest of the story and the vibe, not so much. Snyder took a deconstructionist approach to DC characters. Yeah, and I think that was a mistake. I think that was kind of a product of the time. Like Nolan was a producer on there. Like he had everyone was like kind of like when they saw the Dark Knight success, they thought, okay, we have to go with that vibe. The grounded, gritty, postmodern superhero story, and it just doesn't work for Superman. Like if you're not going to do Injustice, like just do a real Superman story. Justice Superman is the worst version of Superman, and ever since then we've gotten way too many evil Superman. Yeah, like it works for Omni-Man and Homelander, but Superman fundamentally that's just not who he is, and that's not why people love the character. DC is dark, y'all. That's also a meme. So if you like, I see this a bit from people who think they're more knowledgeable about DC than they actually are. DC did not start off dark and gritty. That was a product of the success of like some of those Batman runs, in the 80s. But the characters are very different. That was the direction Batman ended up taking. Superman generally is bright and hopeful. Truth, justice, the American way. That's what Superman's all about. Appreciate you, Minu. There are obviously going to be dark times. Every good story has a low point. That's basic storytelling. But the idea that DC is super grim dark, Warhammer fantasy, and Marvel is comparatively bright and happy is just not true. That's not true at all. It's just a meme. Marvel has tons of dark storylines and happy ones. DC has tons of dark storylines and brighter ones. It depends entirely on who's writing what era we're talking about. But in general, yeah, DC is not that the idea that DC is just massively more dark than Marvel just is just not true. Zack Snyder didn't make Superman a dark character. Like, look at his reaction. Like the fact that in the first Superman movie we saw him commit a murder tells you everything you need to know about that about the Snyderverse. Like that's exactly what I mean. Dark, postmodern, like gritty. Yeah, that's not Superman. I'm sorry, it's not. Them comics, dark. That's the meme. Like I've seen different comics. Some of them are dark. Some of them are not. Some of them are just standard storytelling. Superman's whole thing is that there's always another way. That's how he was raised. It's wrong to hurt people. It's wrong, don't hurt people, protect the weak. There's always another way. Now you could have engineered a situation where Azad died, and it was, it wasn't, Superman didn't directly do it, but he was responsible, and that guilt could eat up at him, that he couldn't find a way to save Zod. But just to have him snap his neck, no. That's not Superman. That's not supposed to be his thing. In his first movie, no. Like he's not. Yeah, Zod killed millions of people. Yes, so did the Joker. Batman has like the worst sociopaths in his city. He's got the Joker. He's got Riddler, Two-Face. He's got all these crazy supervillains that hurt people. He's got a corrupt police department that lets them back on the street. And you know what Batman doesn't do? He doesn't kill people. he has the one rule. That's Batman's core characteristic. He'll give you brain damage, but he won't kill you. That's supposed to be his whole thing. That was not Superman. Exactly. He hides in the shadows. He beats people within an inch of their life. But he won't kill them. Superman, because of his godlike power, exercises more restraint. He was also, unlike Batman, raised by with a mom and a dad. To have, these wholesome values. You don't hurt people. You're very powerful. You have to be very careful, live among us, protect humans. Don't take away human life. Protect it. He's not supposed to just go, all right. This is it's like, oh no, Zod's out of control. Like in the first movie, What should he have done? He should have not murdered Zod. He should have not snapped his neck. He should have beat him until he was unconscious, like Batman would. Usually, and this is a part of writing. Like usually with the Zod storylines, like you can have like typically like he's escapes from the Phantom Zone. So Superman, generally you would want to be a situation where he puts Zod back in the Phantom Zone, or finds the a device that can put people into the Phantom Zone, and then locks up the Kryptonians. Obviously, humanity eventually develops anti-Kryptonian countermeasures so that they could contain them. But yeah, the general gist is that Superman tries to avoid going for the kill. Ben Affleck playing Batman well has nothing to do with the morality of the character. Ben Affleck is just a really good actor who brought a lot to the role. What you're talking about is the writing. Again, Zack Snyder writing, but him being a good Batman has literally nothing to do with the script. It's his performance. I thought his performance as both Batman and Bruce Wayne were very good. The fight scenes were probably the best we've ever seen for Batman in live action in terms of like hand-to-hand combat. But I understand the version of Batman they were going with. That's why he's more brutal than normal. Who should play it? Should be Adam Driver. Oh no, not Adam Driver. Man of Steel isn't really that complicated no, that's the problem. It wasn't complicated. It's very straightforward. We want to make a grounded, gritty, postmodern Superman story that's dark and gloomy, where everyone has to make hard choices and sacrifices. And this is not the Superman. This is not your parents' Superman. Yeah, we get it. That's why it didn't make $1 billion. We don't want to see that Superman. Ben Affleck gets on your nerves for some reason. He's a good Batman. Fair. Best modern Superman and Lois easily. I don't know. My favorite is still Tom Welling. I like Henry Cavill. I think Henry Cavill is solid. I think he obviously looks the part. He's like the perfect Superman. Like he's like genetically engineered to be an action hero. But something about Smallville, man. Smallville hits different. I thought Tom Welling had everything. He had the look, the charm. I thought he was like the perfect Superman, and I love that show. Smallville is just the best. Somebody save me. Yeah. Can't sing anymore because YouTube will copyright it, but that was my Superman. Like older people grew up on Christopher Reeves. Tom Welling's my Superman, and Michael Rosenbaum is my Lex Luthor. Probably always will be. Tom, I feel like Tom is too bad Tom didn't want to put the suit on. I mean, we got to see the Tom Superman at the very end of the series, but oh man, that was such a fun show. Probably reminds me of One Tree Hill. Corenswet, yeah, Corenswet's a really good actor, so I'm looking forward to seeing him uh portray Superman. Obviously, he looks the part, but but from what I've seen, he is a really good actor. I'm definitely fine with that. How many bad guys at DC Superman unalive? We'll find out. Hopefully, not many. You still rewatch Smallville every year? Truly peak, yes sir. Smallville was amazing. Yeah, Smallville was amazing. Arrow was amazing up until what was it, season 4 or so. Yeah, eventually unfortunately they CW'd the Arrow. Miraculously, Smallville, probably a product of the time. Smallville made it 10 seasons without becoming complete trash. But the modern CW shows unfortunately weren't so lucky. Supernatural, just ran out of money and they had the pandemic, so that messed up the final seasons. But yeah, all the other superhero shows, they just got ruined by just dog water modern writing and them leaning too much into a CGI. The Flash was great for 3 seasons before that went off the rails. Bring the reverse Flash actor back, yeah. Legends of Tomorrow was really good for like 1 or 2 seasons, then it went off the rails. Like, I thought they did good when they brought back Supergirl for like 2 seasons, and then that went off the rails. like they, the man, a lot of those, pretty much the whole Arrowverse just got completely ruined. But it had some peak for sure. Legends of Tomorrow always trash. Cap, absolute cap. Batwoman show was always trash. True. That launch trash. The other ones started out good and eventually became trash. I really enjoyed particularly the first season of Legends of Tomorrow. Also love that they brought on Constantine. I love that version of Constantine. I'm sad we didn't get more out of his show. I think that was my favorite I think I like that version of Constantine more than Keanu Reeves. He was just so good. Love this trailer. So good. That's just a snippet. Already I'm sold on this movie. Like, how many times are you gonna carry Arrow's mom or bring her? Literally, like that's them like not knowing what to write and just like the Flash, the Flash trope they fell into was like, okay, we need an idea. All right, so we're gonna have the villain of the week. We're gonna have Barry forget how to use his powers so that he's in trouble, and his friends have to save him so that we can spotlight, some of the sidekicks. So that people don't forget that they're useful. That was like every other episode of the Flash at a certain point. Okay, we want to make Iris look good here, so Barry's going to forget that he has super speed, and everyone's going to have to save him. Like, it was so cringe. Shout out to Grant Gustin, the Goat Flash. Yeah, can't have too much Grant Gustin in this Grant Gustin show. Jeremy coming through with the 20 DCU films will probably each have their own style, but I hope the films have just enough similar feel to where you can buy in. Same world, never felt like Shazam ever coexisted. That's actually a great point. Appreciate you again here for the 20. Yeah, like the thing that I think the MCU nailed early on was definitely the sense of continuity, not just in terms of the writing, oh, they're in the same universe, like in terms of the vibe. Like, obviously they made it a little too formulaic years later, particularly in phase 4, where everything really just went off the rails. But everything kind of had the same vibe. Like when you saw a superhero movie, you can very distinctly tell what was MCU and what was not, even if the movies themselves were different about different people. Like, eventually it was like, okay, you can tell we're watching an MCU thing. And to be fair, the DCU had that, just in the wrong way, like a little too much. Like, you could very tell it was a Zack Snyder universe, and it was very, very Zack Snyder everywhere, and that just doesn't work for everybody. Like, so like, James Gunn has his James Gunn tendencies, but he has some versatility as well. And I like, from what I like about this, is that, from what I've seen so far of this teaser trailer, is the vibe and the aesthetic. Like, it looks like a comic book page come to life. Like, you can very much tell, like, even down to James Gunn insisting on, well, Superman wears the trunks because that's what Superman does. He wears the trunks on the outside. That's classic comic book Superman. He's got to wear the trunks on the outside. And I appreciate that. Dude doesn't even know Zack Snyder. So what actually happened was, Zack Snyder was responsible for his own movies. Obviously, that time he had to step away during production of Justice League for personal reasons. James Gunn was very busy with the MCU. So we're not blaming Man of Steel. We're not blaming Wonder Woman 1984 on James Gunn. Nothing to do with him. Appreciate the 5C. To usually give you the more Christopher Reeves. Oh, 1%. The fonts, especially the music. Like, if you listen to the music, they're definitely going for that kind of modern Hans Zimmer feel that we got in the Man of Steel movie, which I thought was an amazing score. But also, using the original theme, which is obviously timeless. Yeah. So yeah, obviously, Gunn was very busy with the MCU, but he started transitioning away. Right. I think now, probably after he got fired, he started checking his options the first time around, and then eventually, he made the Suicide Squad and started moving over. But yeah, the early early Snyderverse, Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, yeah, that's not you can't hang that on James Gunn. It has nothing to do with him. Snyder has been making 300 since 2006. That's literally a fact. No, he actually, actually has. No, he's been making 300 at what was it, Sucker Punch? Since, what do we want to see from the trailer? Exactly what we saw in this teaser, but a little more. This little teaser that they gave us here yesterday is exactly what I wanted from the trailer. This is what I wanted. So if we can expand on this in the full trailer, yes, I'm all on board. Sucker Punch could have been way more erotic. That's your takeaway. You wanted more eroticism in Sucker Punch? It definitely could have been, for sure. It's so bright. Sub up. Just watching the new Creature Commander episode. It was messed up. I wish one. Yeah, I saw the I just watched the 10-man one yesterday. It was so good. Very tragic though. Very tragic, but I love Creature Commando so far. Who else has been watching Creature Commandos? I thought that I didn't worry really at all about Creature Commandos because that's such a James Gunn project. That I was like, there's no way that's gonna fail. Like it's such a good show. I like seeing, James Gunn without having to tiptoe around all the Disney regulations and stuff. Like he could just tell he could still do his James Gunn thing, but you can tell that he has the freedom to do what he wants and doesn't have to tiptoe around Disney. And it works. Like you have the buddy cop, the buddy comedy misfit aspects that James Gunn for, but you also have more like edgy, gritty stuff going on. I thought it was perfect. Cersei, fire! Oh yeah, great version of Cersei. I have not watched any of the live action Sonic movies. Yeah, Creature Commandos is really good. Yeah, I watched. Right now we got Creature Commandos and the Skeleton Crew over on the Disney Star Wars side airing right now. I think What If is coming soon. I thought so far DC has nailed their shows. I thought Penguin was obviously a masterpiece, and Creature Commandos is really good so far. You need to see a Lobo. You need to see Lobo show up. Lobo would be crazy. Obviously, we know who has to play him. Need to focus on the popular ones first. DC's going to have a lot of interesting stuff. Like they announced they're doing they're going to be doing a Clayface movie. I heard it's coming out in 2026. I feel like that's probably going to be Elseworld. How'd you make DC Batman unique with so many Batman films out there? Yeah, so it's interesting that they're going with Brave and the Bold. And we're telling, so right off the bat, it sounds like they're going to be portraying Batman more of like the head of the Bat family, which I think could be interesting. Like usually with these Batman movies, we get like these origins. Basically, they've all been origin stories. Lately, like we haven't seen like a Batman Bat family story since the Schumacher days, and obviously those were campy and weird. So I would like to see that portrayed, in a more, serious, not bat. Let's pull out the bat credit card kind of way. Especially if we're getting like Damian Wayne, I think that could be an interesting take on Batman that will distinguish from like the versions we have and even the Matt Reeves version. Yeah, yeah, I'm not blaming. Yeah, you do realize someone just because someone produced something doesn't mean like they wrote it. Like James Gunn was ultimately responsible for the Suicide Squad. Zack Snyder did not write the script. Zack Snyder did not direct it. Like, and the Suicide Squad was good. It made no money, but it was good. Like the problems with the DCU was over within the first three movies. The first Wonder Woman being successful was like the only thing that sort of kept it alive, and the unexpected success of Aquaman. But when Man of Steel flopped and we saw what we got with Batman v Superman and the Justice League movie, like that was it. Like the DCU was over. Like it didn't matter after that. It was over. This is the first Wonder Woman. Let's not pretend like the first Wonder Woman movie wasn't good. It wasn't perfect. The third act wasn't great, but it was a really solid movie. Obviously did very well received from critics and fans. The sequel, yeah. Oof. Crazy how Man is still flopped, but Aquaman made $1 billion. It's absolutely insane that both Suicide Squad, the first Suicide Squad with Will Smith and Aquaman made more money than Zack Snyder's Superman. That's actually crazy. Man still did flop, 100% flopped. Like that's a cope. That's beyond cope. That's just delusional. It 100% flopped. It was 100% a flop. Let's be honest. It wasn't a Concord level flop or a Flash level flop. It was a flop. You can tell yourself that, but history knows that it was a flop. I know you tell yourself that it was actually really successful somehow, secretly deep down in a parallel universe. In reality, it flopped. It's just that. $670 million box office for a Superman movie is a flop. Like it didn't even make $700 million. It's a flop. Like what are we talking about? They spent $300 million on that movie. It's a flop. Like what are we talking about? You spent 300. If you spend $300 million on a movie and it makes you 600 million, that's a flop. Like what? Like what are you talking about? It's a $300 million movie. like, like if they made Superman for 80 million and it made 600 million, oh yeah, that's a really good come up. You know, 50 million. Oh yeah, that's amazing. You're swimming in it. You spend $300 million? You think that's why do you think we didn't get a Man of Steel 2? It wasn't because they hated Henry Cavill. It's because they spent $300 million on Man of Steel and it only hit $600 million at the box office. That's why we didn't get a sequel. like, what are we talking about? We got an Aquaman 2. We got a Joker 2. You know why? They made money. What? We got an Aquaman 2 because Aquaman 1 made $1 billion. We got Joker Fully Ledoux because the Joker made $1 billion. Like, what are we talking about? Even Guardians of the Galaxy, the lowest Gunn did in the MCU was like $800 million for Guardians of the Galaxy. You're telling me a Superman movie couldn't crack 700 million? And it's not a flop? What are we talking about? Like, you can say you like the movie without like deluding yourself into thinking it was like this huge success. It wasn't. People really like the action. They really like Henry Cavill. But not enough to go see the movie in theaters. It's almost time. I cannot wait. Yeah, the premiere is gonna start soon. I think they're gonna launch it even earlier. When I was looking at the premiere, it said like 8:53. So let me go to the official waiting room. Wow, 27,000 waiting. Holy. Yeah, they're gonna start the premiere at 8:53. Ooh, and we got a new screenshot. New thumbnail. This movie's gonna be successful. I cannot wait for this. Trailer starts in 60 seconds. 60 seconds. We are 60 seconds away from peak. Hate the costume? That's fine. I like the costume. If this movie makes $1 billion, hug a Snyder fan 100%. If this movie makes $1 billion, the Snyder crash out is going to be insane. Going to dog be a husky. YouTube's going to drop an ad mid trailer. Good thing I won't be watching it. No ads on my browser. I'm a premium man. Of course. Always buy the book and lawful. I've got Twitch. I definitely have. I actually ended up getting Twitch Turbo. Pretty good. I like being able to just pop into a Twitch stream and just not have to worry about watching 10 ads in a row. Here it is. It's time. Hitting us with the YouTube premiere. Get hype. The wait is almost over. Woo! There we go. Are we ready? Are you ready? TikTok, feed the croc. Let's go. We are witnesses to greatness. How good, Zack Snyder fan? It's about to get real. Oh yeah. Prepare to look up. Look up. 3, 2, 1. Oh, we gotta watch that again. We gotta watch that again. That's crazy. Oh, yeah, comments going crazy. Absolute flawless Lex Luthor, by the way. Perfect casting for Lex Luthor. A lot going on in that trailer. Hey, I don't love the Green Lantern outfit. Did not love the Green Lantern. Where is it here? I did not love the Green Lantern. See if we get the full trailer without the premiere. Yeah, I don't love the design of the Green Lantern. Otherwise, I was really liking what I saw. The Guy Gardner. Hawk Girl is great. Do not love the Guy Gardner. To keep it a bean. See, everything else I saw after seeing it in action on screen, love it. Guy Gardner, don't love it. Lexus Rubbers, that's definitely Snyder Cope. He looks perfect. Literally perfect. Coming from a Snyder cultist, I don't want to hear anything about Lex in particular. Your Lex Luthor was Jesse Eisenberg. You have to sit this one out. I'm sorry. Hawkgirl confirmed. Hawkgirl confirmed was confirmed last year. They are told us. Yeah, you absolutely know Zack Snyder fans are coping when they try to say this wasn't a good Lex Luthor, when their Lex Luthor was literally Jesse Eisenberg. Like, see how he portrayed like the hunched posture? Like that's the difference. That's the difference. That's why I said perfect Clark. Not only does he have the look, but he understood the assignment. Like, you're supposed to, like, it's not just, oh, people just can't tell because of the glasses, like the meme. Like, he actually transform. Like, he makes a habit of, you know, messing with his hair and hunching over, you know, altering his posture, his whole aura. He changes that so that he can blend in as Clark, and so that people won't look twice at him and think he could be Superman. Like, Henry Cavill just looked like Henry Cavill wearing glasses. Like, he always looks like Superman. Like, you can tell that Corenswet is in shape here, but you notice his posture isn't good. His clothes are too big for him. They don't fit really well. Like, that's how it's supposed to do. That's how it's supposed to do. He's supposed to look awkward. So that it does, so that, yeah, glasses are really the only thing. Like, glasses outside the suit. They absolutely nailed it. Like, here, he's not in Superman form, but he's on the farm with his family, so he's a little less reserved. So he doesn't have to hide. So he looks like Superman, but he's in plain clothes. It was like Superman in plain clothes. But when he's Clark Kent, completely different vibe. Like, how is this a bad Lex Luthor? Like, you can know the Snyder fans are coping right now. How is this a bad Lex Luthor? Pull up a comic book. Pull up a Lex Luthor comic book. That's Lex Luthor. Like, what are we talking about? A bat? Come on now. Hopefully he gets a better suit after this, because it's just awful. Appreciate the 5. I love the suit. Hitman too, yeah. He would be a great Hitman as well. It's a great Lex Luthor. Like, what else do you want out of the character? He got in shape. Like, what are we talking about? Look at this aura. This is Lex Luthor. Look at that aura. This is clearly Lex Luthor. Lex for CW again, showing you're not real fans. That's Lex for CW is a compliment, because up till now, the best Lex Luthor was Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville, which came on the CW. Like, you Snyder fans have no culture. All you do is worship Zack Snyder. You have no appreciation or understanding of culture. Like, yeah, the CW Lex was literally perfect. That's a compliment. You're comparing him to Michael Rosenbaum. That's a compliment. Michael Rosenbaum is the best live action Lex Luthor of all time. Literally of all time. Yeah, so yes, that's a good thing. if he's CW for Lex. CW had the best Lex Luthor. Arguably, they have the best Superman. What are we talking about? This is a public service announcement. We absolutely have got to stop glazing the old Superman movies. I'm sorry. We have to. We absolutely have to stop the old Superman glaze. Like, we get it. It's iconic. You know, Christopher Reeves was a legend. Did a lot for the character. The old Superman movies were dog shit. I'm sorry. They're bad. They're bad. They're all bad. They're horrible. They're horrible movies. They're terrible movies. I'm sorry. Objectively, they're terrible movies. Especially the sequels. They're not good. What are we talking about? They're not good movies. We have fond memories of them because of nostalgia. You know, they were great for their time. Well, some of them. One of them was good for its time. They don't age well. At all. Not even, especially the writing, but anyway, if you go back, and this isn't just an old stuff is bad. If you go back to the first Star Wars movie, masterpiece. Star Wars: A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, old movies, masterpieces, timeless. You can go, it's 2004, about to be 2005. You go back right now and watch the first Star Wars movie. It's still a masterpiece. Indiana Jones, still a masterpiece. Terminator, Aliens, masterpieces. The old Superman movies are trash. Trash. Absolute trash. We love them because we love Christopher Reeves. We love Christopher Reeves. The movies are trash. I need you to understand. If I need you to understand how trash they are. They're basically the Adam West. It's basically Adam West Batman. That's like saying Adam West Batman was like one of the, is like the it's not. Appreciate the 10 IDK bro. Although Cavill and Batfleck are your Superman and Batman, this is definitely a good start. I hate to see Batman, Damian. Yeah, Gunn is definitely flicking his wrist. I loved it, bro. We give props to Adam West. We give props to all the people who came before us. Everyone would agree the Adam West Batman movies do not compare to the modern stuff. Everyone would agree, right? Val Kilmer, even Christopher Nolan, the Tim Burton, we would all agree those are better than the Adam West Batman movies and Project, right? Because the Adam West Batman, even though it was influential or whatever, we can objectively look at it and say, okay, that's ass. That's cringe. You're doing the same thing because you love Christopher Reeves. It's not. It's Adam. If you go back right now and watch it, you'll realize those old Superman movies are Adam West Batman, but Superman. And you know I'm right because I know you haven't watched any of those movies. Most of you saying L take have never watched a single one of them, even at any point in your lives. And you definitely have, and if you have, you definitely haven't rewatched them. What most of the problem is, most of you have heard people glazing those movies, and in your mind you're like, okay, well, I don't want to be different, so I'm just going to agree that they must be great. They're not great. They're not great movies. Some movies age well, some don't. The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan, masterpiece. Everyone agreed at the time. You watch, but if you watch it again, doesn't hold up quite as well. Like Heath Ledger's Joker holds up very well. Classic, timeless performance. Masterpiece. The Batman parts of it, not so much. Pretty bad, actually. Probably the worst we've ever seen. Doesn't mean I don't love, Christopher Nolan. Doesn't mean I don't have fond memories of his Batman trilogy. But The Dark Knight is kind of ass. Like, particularly the Batman portions of it. The Batman voice, where's it? Where's it? The worst Batman voice of all time. The combat, absolute dog water. Absolute dog water combat in the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. This is how he fights. Like, bro can't even move in his suit. It's garbage. It's the worst fight scenes we've ever seen. It's literally worse than the Schumacher Batman movies. Elbow strike. It's garbage. It looks awful. It's awful. Trust me, no one, and I mean no one, was glazing The Dark Knight more than I was when it first came out. Absolutely no one. Heath Ledger, hands down, one of the best performances I've ever seen. But as someone who has watched The Dark Knight about 15 times, the Batman segments don't hold up. I'm sorry, they don't. It's garbage. It's actual garbage. I'm what Gotham deserves. I'm the savior. I'm the hero Gotham deserves. Barry, I'll get you, Barry. I'll get the Joker. It's garbage, bro. It's actual dog shit, bro. Come on. We're not going to sit here and pretend that the fight scenes in The Dark Knight are good. They're horrible. Batman is horrible in that movie. The voice is awful. I can barely sit through it. It's horrible. I'm talking, bro. The Batman voice is horrible. That I'm not doing Bane. Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. Bane in The Dark Knight Rises is completely different voice. Bane in The Dark Knight Rises is like, I was born in the dark. Voldemort. Batman. I was born in the dark. Voldemort. You're simply adopted the dark. That the voice the voice is compared to oh, Batman, I see that you have come. You cannot stop me, Batman. I'm sorry, mate. You will not make me. Elbow strike. Oh, you stop me again, Batman. It's garbage, bro. It's so cringe. It was my childhood too, but it doesn't hold up. Chat, you have to understand the sad reality of nostalgia is that sometimes the stuff you loved when you were younger turns out to actually just be trash. I'm sorry. It's true. It's just true. Some of the stuff holds up. Like you watch it years later, you know, when you're an adult, you're more clear headed. And like, oh yeah, that's really great. That still holds up. Some of it doesn't. Some of it's very bad. And I understand. Some of you still might like it anyway. But objectively, some of it's really bad. But you're right. You know I'm right. Y'all know I'm right. I'm someone who watched The Dark Knight recently. It's not good. I'm sorry. Like the Joker carries the movie. I'm sorry, he does. The Batman parts of Nolan's Dark Knight are unwatchable. The only parts are watchable is when he's Bruce Wayne and he's not trying to be Batman. When he's actually Batman, it's awful. It's unwatchable. It's unwatchable. This trailer is not better than the trailer. You were expecting the trailer to be better than the entire movie? What are we talking about? Why would the trailer be better than the entire movie? What? Robert Pattinson needs to be in the DCU. The Superman is perfect for him. 100%. Yeah, you got even her talk. I got hot takes all the time. This came up organically because I saw people in chat just absolutely just glazing the Christopher Reeves, and I just had to make it very clear. No. The other hot take I'm known for is telling the truth about Avengers Endgame, which is that obviously unbelievably overrated movie. It's if it wasn't for the third act, we would be talking about it in the same breath as Wonder Woman 1984. But that aside, it's like I'm usually pretty right down the middle. Pat Sinclair is whatever said. Endgame was incredibly overrated. Unbelievably overrated. Endgame, one of the most overrated movies of the last 10 years, if not 20. Absolute peak experience seeing it in person in the theater because of all the hype leading up to it. You know, Infinity War was great. You know, people were, you know, Captain Marvel, not so great, but people were excited. They were hyped. Everyone hopped on and was like, yes, we're ready. Endgame is finally over. It's here. It's not a good movie. I'm sorry, it's not a good movie. It's not. Endgame was, I basically count Endgame as phase 4 because that's when everything just went all down. Like, starting Captain Marvel, that's phase 4. Captain Marvel on down, just mid after mid after mid for the MCU. Just aggressive mid. The plot was horrible. the pacing was terrible. Literally, ask anyone who says Endgame is great. They will tell you, they will always reference the same things. They will reference the Natasha and Hawkeye scene where they're competing to sacrifice themselves. And they'll reference the last battle. Because those are like the only good parts of the movie. Like, when I rewatch Endgame, I just skip to the second act. I don't want to see that horrible Thanos fight at the end. I don't want to see Thor overweight and playing Fortnite. I skip all that garbage. I don't want to see Ant-Man being saved from the quantum realm by a rat. Like, I skip through all that nonsense and get right to the part that people actually like. which is why people remember. Like, on your left, that whole sequence, absolute peak. That saved the movie. If it wasn't for that third act, that final battle in particular, that movie would be absolute dog water. One of the worst MCU movies of all time until we got to the third act. It was not good. I promise you, if it wasn't for that third act, everyone would hate that movie. It's terrible. It was horribly written, horribly paced, and was completely carried by the third act. Completely. Infinity War, by contrast, amazing movie from beginning to end. The first Avengers movie, perfect setup for an ensemble movie. Perfect. You know, introduce the players, add some stakes, had some conflict, a little tragedy to bring them all together. Perfect, solid. That's how you do a superhero team up. Textbook. Infinity War, that's how you flip it on its head, give you this epic, full of all these characters, all these that all make sense, and then you end it on a low with the villain winning. Masterfully done. Endgame, trash. Like, Endgame, absolute garbage. Completely undid Thor's character development from all the previous movies. Made him revert back into just a loser, just an overweight comic relief loser who just drinks beer and plays Fortnite. He can't fight anymore. Like, this is a man who was one headshot away from beating full Infinity Gauntlet Thanos. And then the second movie and in Endgame, he's the Big Lebowski. Absolute dog water writing. Absolute dog water. They finally find a way to introduce Ant-Man, and it's just because, oh well, we have to give his whole part was like literally the entire point of Ant-Man being in that movie was so that he can give Tony the idea for time travel. That's it. His role in the movie was, oh well, we need somebody to get out. Okay, well, we'll have a rat save him so he can go around and show everyone what life looks like after the snap. His main purpose in the movie was, hey Tony, you know what's cool? Time travel. Or hey, you know what? Time. That has something to do with where I was. Oh yeah, time travel. I'll do that. 2 days later. All right, we got a time machine. That was his purpose in the movie. To give Tony the idea to make a time machine in 2 days. That was his purpose in the story. That was his art. It was a bad movie. I'm sorry, it was a bad movie. But the third act, amazing. Great. Every time I hear Anthony Mackie say "on your left," chills. Perfect. Amazing scene. Love the fan service. Great job. They knew their audience. They knew everyone was going to just jump out of their seats and cheer, and that's what happened. Great. They really brought it home with that one. The rest of the movie, not so much. Endgame is nearly all perfect. Endgame is nearly all terrible. It's not until like literally the best parts of it are like Natasha and Clint and the final battle. It's not good. It's not a good movie. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to glaze something if I don't believe in it. Like I don't believe it. I know the popular thing is just to go along and say, oh, Endgame is basically perfect. It's the best. It's just as good as Infinity War. It's not. Infinity War is 20 times better than Endgame. It's not even a question. Like, it's like if you watch the two back to back, it's not even a question. Endgame is so much worse. Like, by every conceivable way. It's not even. Talking about, oh, don't get me started on No Way Home. No Way Home. They did the same thing with No Way Home. They hit you with the nostalgia. They hit you in the feels because they didn't want you distracted by the script being mid. They wanted you to be like, oh, Toby, oh, Andrew. They want Norman. They want to distract you with nostalgia and the fact that Marissa Tomei is hot from the fact that the No Way Home script is horrible. The first hour and a half of that movie is horrible. It's a terrible movie. But the only thing people remember is Andrew and Toby coming through the portal, and Norman and Willem the Goat pulling in an all-time great performance as Green Goblin. Like, that's another third act movie. Like the end of the second act into the third act, once again, saves No Way Home, and they use nostalgia to do it. Still better than Captain Marvel She-Hulk. That's not saying much. Yes, they dangle the keys in your face. Oh, like even it, like Endgame. The best part of Endgame is like oh, you get to see all of it. Oh, remember? Oh, look, there's the sorcerers from the other movie. Oh, there's Ant-Man. Oh, there's Hulk. Oh, look, they're all together. Oh, Iron Man. Oh, Spider-Man. Oh, T'Challa. Oh, Hulk. I remember them from all the boy. Oh, they're all together. Oh, on your left. Remember? Because he said on your left in that one Captain America movie when they were running on your left. He said the thing. He said it. He said on your left. Oh, but this time he's saving Cap. This time he's coming to the. Come on, bro. They do the same. They do the same thing. They do the same thing. Oh, we're gonna make a Spider-Man movie. What's the premise? Oh well, Spider-Man's identity was compromised after he was set up. Because somehow no one anywhere with all this advanced technology knew that Mysterio was an imposter and Peter got set up. So the central conflict of Peter's identity compromise is that he can't get into this one college, man. For some reason, this one college doesn't want Spider-Man or his really smart friends that have nothing to do with him to be accepted. I don't understand. Like, yeah, colleges that are famously incredibly motivated by money and status don't want Spider-Man and his friends going to their school. What are you going to do? Well, I guess we have to go to Doctor Strange and have him change the universe so no one what? Also, we're also going to have him do this really complicated thing that if he messes up a little bit is going to threaten the multiverse, but we're not going to have Strange tell Peter that he needs total concentration or it's going to ruin everything. We're just going to let him constantly be interrupted because it's funny. We're the MCU. We do it funny. And we're also going to have Peter beat Doctor Strange in a fight because why not? Yeah, sure, Doctor Strange can shut all this down, but that will require him to be competent. So obviously we can't have Doctor Strange shut this whole plot down. So we're going to have Peter beat Doctor Strange in a fight inside the mirror dimension. Just so the movie can, yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah. Doctor Strange literally punches his soul out of his body, but he's got spider sense. Can't do anything about. He's got the tingle, guys. He's got the Peter tingle. So even without his soul, Doctor Strange can't snatch something out of his hand. It's too difficult. He has no tools. It's not like he has a fucking whip. It's not like he can manipulate reality and time. No, he can't do any of that. No, he can't bind him. No, he can't levitate it out of his hand. No, he just has to hold still, Peter. The Peter tingle, it's too fast. Oh, his reaction time. Oh, I can't. It's what is this? What is this writing? oh no, Doctor Strange is powerless against the Peter Tingle. Like what is this writing? What are you talking about? The movie does not get good until Willem Dafoe shows up. That is the only time this movie, the No Way Home, becomes watchable. Before that, everyone's just like, okay, oh, Daredevil, and that's it. Oh, Marissa Tomei. Oh, the movie was terrible until Willem Dafoe showed up. It was a terrible movie. If it wasn't for all the old Spider-Man, that movie would be trash. just like mostly everything in Phase 4. Spider-Man 2 is better than No Way Home. 100%. Thor: Love and Thunder deserved an Oscar. Nice one. The only nice thing I can say about Thor: Love and Thunder is that the first 10 minutes and the end 5 minutes are watchable. Bordering on actually decent. Everything in between? Ooh. Thoughts on Shang-Chi? Shang-Chi, definitely one of the, arguably the best MCU movie in terms of fight choreography. Absolute great peak fight choreography. Absolute aggressively mid movie. Amazing fight choreography. Great use of practical effects. Great villain. Completely dog water writing. Also, did not like Shang-Chi's character development. Hated Awkwafina as the sidekick. Absolute aggressive mid. The whole time I was like watching Shang-Chi, I was kind of wishing that they just instead made a movie about his dad, because that was it was like two different movies within one. It was like a really good origin story for his dad in a really mid MCU-fied version of Shang-Chi. And then they just combined the two into one movie. That's why there were parts of it that were like really good, and then parts of it where I'm like checking my phone. They fought Neyma's character. To be fair, part of that is because they didn't have all the rights. A lot of this was a rights issue thing. I think Wakanda Forever shouldn't have come out. I think they should have just took a break, grieved properly, and then come back with a well-written, proper send-off for T'Challa. But that aside, they were kind of restricted in terms of the film rights for Namor, so they had to make some changes. So then Coogler decided just to lean into it. So it's like, so that's how we got my enemies coming tomorrow and all that cringe. But that wasn't totally their fault. Hulk 2008 is looking good compared to these movies. So what I'll say about the Hulk, I thought the Eric Bana Hulk movies, obviously horrible, but I thought they did the best job live action wise of portraying Hulk's power on screen. Like the strength, how fast he can run, how far he can leap. I thought the Eric Bana ones did it the best. I thought Ed Norton's was like the best design and was like a better all around good Hulk story. And I thought the MCU one started out okay, but eventually just became a joke. Denzel Washington come and save us like he saved Gladiator too. Oh boy. Charles and hate Hawkins. Kind. It's not really that straightforward. I mean, obviously Ed Norton is gone for, from what I heard, largely for creative differences. But Disney didn't even buy Marvel until 2009. I thought it was just a really I thought it was a really good movie. But yeah, they obviously had to because of creative differences, they obviously had to recast Edward Norton, and they kind of just pretend that movie didn't exist. Like they changed the design and the actor, and this just the overall vibe. I just don't like it. I hope they get back to like a more serious version of the Hulk. I do not. Lou Ferrigno Hawk is the equivalent of Adam West Batman. he was very influential. You know, people loved it for the time. You know, put Hawk in live action. You know, iconic in his own way. Obviously, looking at it now from a modern adult lens, obvious dog water. Complete trash. Like what are we talking about? He's literally just a strong guy painted green with a bad wig. That's not the Hawk. like what are we talking about? Yeah. Always props to Lou Ferrigno for paving the way for actual good Hawk interpretations, but holy. This old Marvel. We have our criticisms. I definitely have my criticisms for the MCU, but let's not overstate. It cannot be overstated how bad comic book movies used to be before. Not even we'll say. We'll say the turning point. One of the turning points for comic book adaptations was definitely, I'd say, the Tim Burton Batman stuff. Even that had its camp, but after that, especially when we're looking at Marvel, Wesley Snipes' Blade really kind of set things in the right direction. And then Sam Raimi brought things home with that first Spider-Man movie, which I think you can argue not even just from a quality standpoint, but for its importance to the future of the genre, is probably the best comic book movie, because obviously Blade was extremely important, but they weren't great movies. They were just they were fun mindless action movies. Spider-Man 1 on its own was just a great movie, but it did so much for the culture and for the future. If it wasn't for Blade and Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man, I don't really think there's an MCU. I'd rather say the MCU let that sing in. I honestly don't. Obviously, I prefer Andrew as my live action Spider-Man, Andrew forever. But I will readily admit, Andrew might be my favorite Spider-Man, but his movies were horrible, and nothing he could do. That's the writing, directing, but those first two Spider-Man movies in particular, particularly that first one, changed everything. Spider-Man 1 changed everything. And they still hold up well. Very well. Spider-Man 3, not so much. But I really like this trailer. This looks like it's going to be my favorite DC movie. But the problem is that DC has a Batman problem, which is that it has had it for years, particularly when it comes to adaptations. They over rely on Batman being great, and they've kind of run it into the ground. Like, they do it for video games, they do it for live. They always default to Batman at the expense of everybody else, even when they have something. Like Arrow, like the fact that WB didn't properly capitalize on the Arrowverse is a crime. But it shows that you don't need, but it was proof positive that you don't need Batman to not only have a successful comic adaptation, but to carry its own, cinematic universe. Like, they carry, like, the freaking CW popped off because of Green Arrow, a character who still has never had its own video game. But they always just end up making a Batman movie. So I'd say the best DC movies, unfortunately, are mostly Batman. The Matt Reeves Batman movie, masterpiece. I thought the James Gunn Suicide Squad was very good. The Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, some better than others. I thought honestly Dark Knight Rises wasn't very good. The Dark Knight is great apart from all the Batman sections. Batman Begins was really good. The Michael Keaton Batman movies were legitimately great. They hold up really well. The Schumacher ones, not so much. Man of Steel was decent. I do still like Man of Steel, even though obviously could have been much better. But yeah, like, there's really no, like, there are very few iconic standouts. Like, oh, that's a match. That's cinema. Like, the only DC movie I walked away from in recent years where I was like, that's cinema, was the Batman. Guy Gardner and Lex Castor feels wrong. That's crazy. Guy Gardner, I can understand. I wasn't, that's one part of the trailer that I didn't immediately vibe with. This is literally perfect Lex Luthor. Like, this is literally perfect casting for Lex Luthor. Like, that's not even a conversation. I'm not even entertaining that conversation, especially after Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. We're not having that conversation. This is perfect casting, great, hands down. Give James Gunn his flowers. This is perfect casting for Lex Luthor. Perfect casting for Clark Kent. Perfect casting for Lois Lane. Perfect casting for Mr. Terrific and Jimmy Olsen. Like, he nailed it. Like, you have all your other, like, he obviously nailed. These are obviously perfect casting decisions. Like, it's not even a conversation. Superman Returns. So oof. Are we actually ready to talk about the Kevin Spacey Lex Luthor? Oh, are we ready to relive that movie? Ooh. I try to forget. I try to forget about that movie, honestly. Now some of the scene, like the effects, like some of the flying and stuff, that holds up. But holy, that movie was not good. The superhero casting, Millie, I'm not not fond of it, but I do think it fits that based on the Supergirl comic they're adapting. I think that casting makes sense. So I'm willing to let us check it out. Like, let me see a trailer first, at least. Low-key, hottest, lowest we got in a minute. Like, literally, when I saw Mrs. Maisel, Marvel's Mrs. Maisel, by the way, if you haven't seen it, definitely go check that out. But when I was watching Marvel's Mrs. Maisel, the whole time I was like, this is like the perfect audition for Lois Lane. Like, Mrs. Maisel is basically Lois Lane, but funnier. Like, Rachel Brosnahan's performance in that show was like, she has to be Lois Lane. That there's no better. Everything about that character was like classic Lois Lane. The fast, the charm, the wit. She's obviously got the look. Perfect. Oh, that's Midge. Yes, that's Midge. That's Midge Maisel. Rachel Brosnahan is Midge Maisel, and is now Lois Lane. 100%. Absolute perfect casting by James Gunn there. Superman as John. We all know those memes are going to be flying around. 100%. Would I cast for Martian Manhunter? I actually really liked the Arrowverse Green Lantern. Oh, what was that guy? What was that guy's name? No. Oh, no. Forget him. Who was the Smallville John? Who was the Smallville Manhunter? What was that actor? Phil Morris. Phil Morris. Phil Morris is my John Jones. I would love if they brought back Phil Morris. That's my John Jones. I thought the Supergirl one was solid. I do like that actor. But Phil Morris. That's my John. That's my Martian Manhunter. Phil Morris was awesome. They actually has some really great casting in Smallville. Holy. He could cast the android guy from Alien Romulus as Martian Manhunter. Trailer's like a 6 out of 10. Is under on you. I'm giving Superman. Let me watch it one more time before I give a verdict. You almost say for Swamp Thing. Oh, Swamp Thing could be cool. Yeah, my dad loved Swamp Thing when I was a kid. Watch it. All right. Yeah, I'm giving this trailer a 9 out of 10. I'm taking off points for Guy Gardner. But Rachel Brosnahan gets all the points. So it wins 9 out of 10. Like how fantastical, yes. Yeah, I love it too. Like this looks like a comic. This looks like a Superman comic come to life. Like, we're not doing grounded and gritty. Oh, it's got to be realistic. It's got to be dark because it's no. It's bright. It's got tragic stuff. It's got hope. It's hopeful. It's inspirational. Like, this is Superman. he's saving people. People, you have people who hate him, but at the end of the day, through all that hate, you had that show that poor kid. You have people who look up to the sky. They look up because they know that Superman's a symbol of hope. Like when you want someone to save you, you call Superman. And I thought they did a really good job of portraying the many facets of Superman in this trailer by giving like a real comic book movie. Like it looks like a true love letter to the comics. It's got you got a kaiju, you got Lex, Metamorpho, you got Hawk Girl, Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific. You got the Lois and the Clark, like they got everything. This is a great trailer. I don't think that's Starro. Definitely not the DC Starro that James Gunn put in Suicide Squad. That Starro was dealt with. They have full hope now. July 11th. Cannot wait. Yep. Truth, Justice, in the American Way. Week after 4th of July. I am not worried. I had faith in James Gunn. I was like, I'm a Henry Cavill fan, but I want to let James Gunn cook. I thought he did a great job with the casting. And the only thing I left was, okay, let's see it on the screen. Let's see a trailer. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see what he's cooking. And I love what he's doing. I'm definitely down to watch this in theaters day one. This looks awesome. I'm excited. W. James Gunn. So far, the James Gunn regime to me has been great. The Superman trailer, 9 out of 10 for me. I really love Creature Commandos so far. Penguin, absolute cinema. I think DC might be back. I'm going to say it now. Maybe not the video games yet. Hopefully we'll get there. But everywhere else, I think DC might be back. Maybe not comics, except for Batman. But cinematically, DC's back. Now, the Superman vs. Fantastic Four thing is going to be interesting. I think, personally, my hope is that, that the hype for both will drive box office traffic for both. But I think the Fantastic Four success is going to come right down to the trailer. I think the trailer is going to play a big part, because the MCU has, they got some momentum thanks to Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm very worried about Captain America: Brave New World, or New World Order, whatever they're calling it now, Captain America 4. But yeah, momentum plays a big role when it comes to the MCU. They lost a lot of goodwill because of Phase 4 and the start of Phase 5. But if they can string together a couple really good projects and have some positive momentum going into Fantastic Four, and the Fantastic Four trailer is like really, really strong, I think they'll both do really. I think they could both do really well. But I feel like there's a high chance the Fantastic Four is just going to tank, because for whatever reason, it kind of just seems like the Fantastic Four movies are cursed. I'm hoping this one ends up being good, but maybe if they use Robert Downey Jr. in the marketing, that'll help. But yeah, I think that first trailer is going to be really important. I feel like a lot of DC fans are just ready. They were happy when James Gunn came over. They're glad that the DC seems to have some sort of direction. They just want an excuse to go see a good DC movie again. So I think James Gunn Superman is going to be fine. Fantastic Four has a little more to prove, because there's just so many just mid or bad Fantastic Four movies, and like I think it's actually kind of ruined the reputation of Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom among casuals because they think it's cheesy. They associate them with like, oh, cheesy, corny, or whatever. Like obviously comic book and game fans understand Fantastic Four are awesome. Doctor Doom, like, probably the best villain anywhere. But if your only exposure to Fantastic Four was live action, it's not great. The official trailer with story beats. I don't want that. So for me, my biggest pet peeve with trailers is when they show the whole movie. I don't want to see the movie before the movie. I don't want a 2-minute synopsis of the movie. Show me some key highlights that will get me excited to want to see the full movie, and save the majority of the surprises for the actual movie. Like, that's one of the reasons I didn't watch Gladiator 2. First of all, as a huge Gladiator 1 fan, the idea of a sequel I thought was just stupid conceptually. But, it had Denzel Washington, so I was willing to give it a chance because any movie with Denzel Washington, I'm gonna at least look at it. So I watched the first trailer, and they show the whole freaking movie. Like, what? Like, I know the whole movie now. Like, why would I watch it after this? Like, I was already on the fence of Gladiator 2 as a concept. Why would I go to the theater now when you showed the entire movie in the first trailer? Like what are we doing? So what I typically like to do when they don't ruin it is I'll watch the teaser trailer. That usually gives me the vibe. That tells me that allows me to judge it, because I have a pretty good judge when it comes to this. Like, if you show me a trailer, I'll have a very good idea of the quality of the movie. So I'll look at the trailer, I'll look at the teaser, I'll analyze it to see signs of what the full movie is going to be. And if I don't see any major red flags, I'll be like, okay, cool, we'll go check that out. If I see enough red flags, I'll be like, all right, maybe this is watch it at home kind of thing. Okay. Or maybe a pass. But if you show me the whole movie, it's like, what are we doing? This was perfect. This right here, this James Gunn Superman trailer, perfect. I don't need to see anymore. I don't need anything else. I don't need an official trailer. I don't need anything else. This is all I needed. I don't need to see a single bit of Superman promo from now until July. This is all I needed. This tells me everything I need to know about this movie. I'm not going to watch another trailer. I don't need it anymore. I'm going to see this movie. Anything else. I don't want spoilers. I don't want anything else. Anything else would be showing me more than I need. I'm already sold. Once I'm sold, I don't need to be sold anymore. Anything else is just going to mess up the actual experience. Because I hate that feeling when you go see a movie and there are no surprises. Because, oh, I remember this from the trailer. Oh, I remember this from the like that was basically like Multiverse of Madness. Not only was the movie mid, but like they put everything in all the trailers. Like there was no surprises left. Like when Professor Xavier showed up, I was like, oh yeah, Professor Xavier's in this. It was in the trailer. Oh yeah, Wanda's evil. We know. That's not a twist. You're building this up for a twist. It's not a twist. Yeah, we know. Oh yeah, American shot. Yeah. Oh, like there was no surprises. Like, it was just like it just takes the enjoyment out of the movie. Like all the best parts, like all the peak action scenes all the peak is just in the like Strange versus Strange is in the trailer. Like you put everything is in the trailer. Like I can't. I hate when they do that. I hate when they do that. That's why I'm like very careful with it when it comes to these trailers. If I'm interested in the movie, because I know they have a tendency to overshare. Yeah, this is definitely like a I need to see this on the big screen type of debut. So W James Gunn. So my final verdict, 9 out of 10 on the trailer. Can't wait for the movie. All right, I'll be live later today. Marvel Rivals is doing a winter event, so I'll probably stream a little bit of that. I think it comes on tonight. I gotta check. They always do the weird time zone thing, but I think it's tonight. So I'll be back on to check that out. Appreciate everyone for hanging out. Appreciate all the donos. I gotta check and see what time my time the event is, but I'll set up the stream once I know and I'm ready. But in the meantime, I woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning for this trailer. Well worth it, but now I need to relax a little. So I'll catch y'all later. I'm Sadot the Gamer signing out.